That's why I say if we're going to frame these debates in ways that allow us to solve them, then we can't start off by figuring out, A, who's to blame, B, how can we make the American people afraid of the other side. And unfortunately, that's how our politics works right now. And that's how a lot of our discussion works. That's how we start off every time somebody speaks in Congress, the first thing they do. They stand up and all the talking points. I see Frank Luntz up here sitting in the front. He's already polled it, and he said, you know, the way you're really going to I've done. A focus group, and the way we're going to really box in Obama on this one or make Pelosi look bad on that one, I know. I like Frank, we've had conversations between Frank and I. But that's how we operate. It's all tactics, and it's not solving problems. And so the question is, at what point can we have a serious conversation about Medicare and its long-term liability? Or a serious question about a serious conversation about Social Security? Or a serious conversation about budget and debt in which we're not simply trying to position ourselves politically. That's what I'm committed to doing. We won't agree all the time in getting it done. But I'm committed to doing it. Congressman Pence, take one more? President Obama, you know, I've already gone over time. But I'll be happy to take your question, Congressman, offline. You can give me a call. All right. Thank you, everybody. God bless you. God bless the United States of America. Thank you, everybody. Barack Obama. American Graduation Initiative Address. Delivered July 14, 2009, Macomb Community College, Warren, Michigan. Hello, Michigan. Thank you. Thank you so much. First of all, give Joe a big round of applause for the wonderful introduction. We've got some special guests here now, if everybody has chairs. Go ahead and use them. Feel free. We've got some special guests here today that I just want to acknowledge. All of you are special, but these folks I want to make sure that you have a chance to see them. First of all, one of the best governors in the country, please give Jennifer Granholm a big round of applause. Lieutenant Governor John Cherry, give John a big round of applause. One of my favorite people, a former colleague of mine. Still just a fighter on behalf of working families each and every day, Senator Debbie Stabenow. We've got Speaker of the House, Andy Dillon, in the House. We've got a lot of other local elected officials, and I just want to thank them. A couple of people who are missing, Carl Levin, who is doing great work. He's in the Senate right now fighting on behalf of a bill to make sure that we're not loading up a bunch of necessary defense spending with unnecessary defense spending. So he's the point person on it. The only reason he's not here is because he is working alongside the administration to get this bill done. Please give him a big round of applause. Congressman Sandy Levin, also working hard on your behalf each and every day, but is not here today. I want to go ahead and acknowledge the new mayor. Since he's the new mayor, Mayor Dave Bing, great ball player. My game is a little like Dave Bing's, except I don't have the jump shot or the speed or the ball handling skills. Or the endurance. Also don't have the afro. Don't think I forgot that, Dave. I remember that. I also want to acknowledge that we've got the executive director of the White House Council on Auto Communities and Workers. Who's working hard, has a direct line to me each and every day. He's traveling constantly back here at Montgomery. Please give Ed a big round of applause. And the chairman of the Grand Traverse Band of Ottawa and Chippewa Indian Tribe, Derek Bailey, is here. Please give Derek a big round of applause. And finally, the president of the college where we are here, Jim Jacobs. Give Jim Jacobs a big round of applause. And those of you who I've missed, you know how grateful I am that you're here. And thank you all. It is wonderful to be back at Macomb. It was terrific visiting this campus as a candidate. But I have to admit, it's even better visiting as a president. Now, this is a place where anyone with a desire to learn and to grow to take their career to a new level or start a new career altogether has the opportunity to pursue their dream, right here in Macomb. This is a place where people of all ages and all backgrounds, even in the face of obstacles, even in the face of very difficult personal challenges, can take a chance on a brighter future for themselves and their families. There are folks like Joe, who just told us his story. When Joe lost his job, he decided to take advantage of assistance for displaced workers. He earned his associate degree here at Macomb, and with a pretty impressive GPA, I might add. And with the help of that degree, Joe found a new job, working for the new Henry Ford West Bloomfield Hospital as a maintenance mechanic. Using the skills he learned here and the talents that he brought to make a fresh start. There are workers like Kelly Kuhlman, who is here today. Where's Kelly? Raise your hand, Kelly. Where are you? There you are. There's Kelly. Right there. Kelly is a UAW worker at a Ford plant in Sterling Heights, Michigan. She used to drive a forklift, right? But then she decided to train here at Macomb for a job that required new skills. And now she's an apprentice pipe fitter. It's a telling example, even as this painful restructuring takes place in our auto industry. Workers are seeking out training for new auto jobs. And Joe and Kelly's story make clear what all of you know. Community colleges are an essential part of our recovery in the present and our prosperity in the future. This place can make the future better, not just for these individuals but for America. Now, since this recession began 20 months ago, 6.5 million Americans have lost their jobs. And I don't have to tell you Michigan in particular has been hard hit. Now, the statistics are daunting. The whole country now, the unemployment rate is approaching 10%. Here in Michigan, it's about 5 points higher. And new jobs of course are going to be coming out, and we're going to see continuing job loss even as the economy is beginning to stabilize. Now, that's not just abstractions. Those just aren't numbers on a page. Those are extraordinary hardships, tough times. For families and individuals who've worked hard all their lives and have done the right things all their lives. If you haven't lost a job, chances are you know somebody who has. A family member, a neighbor, a friend, a co-worker. And you know that as difficult as the financial struggle can be, the sense of loss is about more than just a paycheck, because most of us define ourselves by the work we do. That's part of what it means to be an American. We take pride in work, that sense that you're contributing. Supporting your family, meeting your responsibilities. People need work not just for income, but because it makes you part of that fabric of a community that's so important. And so when you lose your job, and when entire communities are losing thousands of jobs, that's a heavy burden, that's a heavy weight. Now, my administration has a job to do, as well, and that job is to get this economy back on its feet. That's my job. And it's a job I gladly accept. I love these folks who helped get us in this mess and then suddenly say, well, this is Obama's economy. That's fine. Give it to me. My job is to solve problems. Not to stand on the sidelines and harp and gripe. So I welcome the job. I want the responsibility. And I know that. Let's just take an example. Many questioned our efforts to help save GM and Chrysler from collapse earlier this year. Their feeling was these companies were driven to the brink by poor management decisions over a long period of time. And like any business, they should be held accountable for those decisions. I agree that they should be held accountable. But I also recognize the historic significance and economic prominence of these companies in communities all across Michigan and all across the country. I thought about the hundreds of thousands of Americans whose livelihoods are still connected to the American auto industry. And the impact on an already struggling economy, especially right here in Michigan. So I said that if Chrysler and GM were willing to fundamentally restructure their businesses and make the hard choices necessary to become competitive now and in the future, it was a process worth supporting. Now today, after a painful period of soul-searching and sacrifice, both GM and Chrysler have emerged from bankruptcy. Remember, folks said there was no way they could do it? They've gotten it done already, in record time, far faster than anybody thought possible. They've got a leaner structure, they've got new management. And a viable vision of how to compete and win in the 21st century. Those sacrifices were shared among all the stakeholders. Workers and management, creditors and shareholders, retirees and communities. And together, they've made the rebirth of Chrysler and GM possible.